What's a revenge you regret because it hit harder than expected? My roommate Tyler had been stealing my food for months, not just grabbing a bite here and there, but eating entire meals I'd prepped for the week. I'd come home from my double shifts at the restaurant to find empty containers in the sink. When I confronted him, he'd just shrug and say he'd replace it later. He never did. I was surviving on ramen and peanut butter sandwiches while he ate my expensive meal prep. The breaking point came when he ate the birthday cake my mom had shipped from 3 states away. The whole thing. Not even a slice left for me. When I asked about it, he said it was going bad anyway and he was doing me a favor. I was furious. Tyler came from money and could afford to eat out every night. I was working 60 hours a week just to make rent, so I decided to teach him a lesson. Tyler was obsessed with this rare plant he'd bought for $400. Some exotic thing he kept on the windowsill and talked about constantly. He'd check on it every morning like it was his baby. I knew he was going out of town for his cousin's wedding that weekend, 3 days away. Perfect timing for my revenge. I didn't kill his plant. That would have been too obvious. Instead, I carefully repotted it with regular potting soil mixed with just enough salt to slowly poison it. Not enough to kill it immediately, but enough to make it sick. When Tyler got back, the plant looked fine, but over the next 2 weeks, it started dying, leaves turning yellow, then brown. Tyler freaked out, calling plant experts, buying expensive fertilizers, moving it to different spots around the apartment. He spent over $600 trying to save it. I watched him stress about it every day, and honestly, it felt perfect. He was finally learning what it felt like to lose something he cared about. But then I overheard a phone call he was having with his mom. He was crying. Actually crying over this stupid plant. Turns out his grandfather had given him that plant cutting right before he died. It was the last living piece of his grandfather's massive garden that he tended for 40 years. Tyler had been trying to keep it alive as a way to stay connected to him. The plant wasn't just some expensive hobby. It was the only thing he had left of the man who raised him after his parents got divorced. His grandfather had taught him everything about gardening, and Tyler was planning to start his own garden someday using cuttings from that original plant. When the plant finally died, Tyler blamed himself completely. He thought he'd failed his grandfather's memory. He spent days researching what went wrong, convinced he was a terrible plant parent who didn't deserve to carry on his grandfather's legacy. I felt sick watching him beat himself up. This wasn't about teaching him a lesson about stealing food anymore. I destroyed something irreplaceable, something that connected him to someone he loved. The worst part was when he started leaving food for me. Little notes saying sorry for eating my stuff with sandwiches or leftover pizza. He felt so guilty about potentially causing stress that led to his plant dying. 3 months later, I finally told him the truth. He stared at me for a long time, then quietly asked me to move out. He didn't yell or get angry, he just looked broken. Tyler moved back home with his mom after that. I heard through mutual friends that he started therapy to deal with losing his grandfather and now has trust issues with roommates. All because I wanted revenge over some stolen leftovers.